Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to White News. I'm Chandra Di Pratama.
I'm Putri Chandra Kirana.
And I'm Kalin Junior Yazid. Lately, there's been some hot news making headline in the world of politics. Now, I will take you to the news about a group of university students holding a protest to criticize the government policy. This demonstration was initiated by the Alliance of Student Executive Bodies throughout Indonesia. The students consider that the education budget efficiency policy has the potential to have a major negative impact on the world of education, including an increase in the single tuition fee, cutting lecture allowance, and reducing the right of educator. The central coordinator of the Student Executive Board, Herianto, stated that this action is a form of disappointment over various policies that are considered not pro-education. He emphasized that the peak action began at 2 p.m. and was centered in the Horse Tattoo area, Central Jakarta, which is close to the State Place. Not only in Jakarta, similar actions were also held simultaneously in various regions, such as Bandung, Lampung, Surabaya, Malang, Samarinda, Banjarmasin, Aceh, and Bali. Our struggle will not stop until there is a real change. Students will continue to move, and if necessary, the action will be even bigger in the future, said Herianto in his speech. The protesters carried banners and posters containing various demands, calling on the government to review the budget efficiency policy and stop policies that are considered ineffective and detrimental to the education sector. This is the information related to student demonstration against the efficiency of the education budget. We will continue to the next news. Still related to the polemic over the education budget, the public is now again made busy by the circulation of presentation slides that went viral on social media X. The slide display the government 2026 budget policy plan, which mentioned education and health only as supporting priorities. In the slide titled Arah Kebijakan BPP Tahun Anggaran 2026, the budget is divided into three categories, and the position of education and health as supporter has drawn criticism. The public also questioned whether this was the president's direction or an internal decision of the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance immediately provided clarification. Head of Bureau of Communication and Information Service, Denny Surjantoro, emphasized that education and health remain the main pillars of national development according to the National Medium-Term Development Plan 2025 until 2029. The word supporting does not mean unimportant, but rather part of a long-term development strategy. Denny also denied the notion that the free nutritious meal program prioritized, because all of the president's program complement each other. So, although they are mentioned as supporter, education and health remain the government's main focus. The Finance Ministry hopes that the public will not misinterpret that developing narrative.
Amid ongoing student protests over the government's decision to downgrade education as a national budget priority, a new initiative has been introduced: the integration of artificial intelligence into the school curriculum starting in the 2025-2026 academic year.
Vice President Gibran Rakabuming Raka has announced that artificial intelligence, or AI, will be introduced into Indonesia's national school curriculum starting in the 2025-2026 academic year. This statement was made during his visit to Binus University in West Jakarta.
Gibran emphasized that AI is highly relevant to challenge of our time, and he urged the younger generation to master emerging technologies. He explained that AI will be taught at all levels: elementary, junior high, senior high, and vocational schools.
AI won't replace humans, he said, but those who don't use AI might be replaced by those who do. Gibran also encouraged innovation among students and researchers, expressing hope that early-stage tech projects will receive more support from schools and the government, including funding. The Indonesian government's decision to incorporate AI into the national curriculum reflects its vision for a digital future, but critics question whether the country is truly ready. Many schools still deal with limited infrastructure, lack reliable internet access, and do not have adequately trained teachers. If these fundamental issues are not addressed, there are growing worries that only a small number of students will benefit from this initiative, potentially widening the education gap across the nation. As the 2025-2026 school year approaches, all eyes will be on how the government balances innovation with equity, ensuring that AI education truly empowers all Indonesian students, not just a privileged few. As the plan to include artificial intelligence in the 2025-2026 school curriculum gains widespread attention, political tensions have escalated following the ratification of the revised TNI law, sparking student protests from various universities. The recent revision of Indonesia's National Armed Forces Law, or the TNI Law, passed by the House of Representatives on March 20, 2025, has sparked widespread protests. Thousands of university students gathered outside the house in Senayan, Central Jakarta, to voice their opposition to the controversial law. The protesters expressed concerns that several provisions in the new TNI law could undermine civilian control over the military. Many fear this could lead Indonesia back to the New Order era, when the military has significant influence over the government. The students also criticized the increased military involvement in civilian roles, as well as the fact that the law was passed without sufficient civilian input. While Parliament argues that the revision aims to strengthen civilian supremacy and prevent the revival of the dual-function military system, public concerns remain, especially with President Prabowo, who has a military background, leading the initiative. While the protests have been visible on the streets, the movement has also gained significant momentum on social media. The hashtag Indonesia Gelap or Dark Indonesia has gone viral, reflecting public dissatisfaction with the law's passage in secrecy and without involving the citizen. This isn't the first time the hashtag has trended, as it continues to symbolize long-standing frustration with policies seen as threatening democracy, civil rights, and social justice. The protesters have vowed to continue their demonstrations if their demands are not met, rejecting military dominance in politics and one-sided policymaking that ignores the voice of the people.
But from the voice of the people, we turn to the voice of graphic designer who forgot to delete the template. Information board at the zero-point monument of the archipelago capital city, East Kalimantan, has gone viral on social media X. In the photo, circulating the words Lorem Ipsum Dolor Emet, Consector Edispacing Elite are clearly visible on the board, a random sentence in Latin commonly used as a placeholder in the world of graphic design. This post immediately provoked reaction from netizens. Many questioned how such a dummy text could be installed in such an important symbolic location. Some lamented the lack of attention to detail in the visual planning of the IKN area under construction. In response, the IKN authority provided clarification. They said that the Lorem Ipsum inscription was only a temporary sticker used during the unfinished narration process. Now, the section has been temporarily covered using a blue-colored tarpaulin. This closure measure was taken while waiting for the actual installation of the information. However, this incident has already spread widely on social media, and many parties have requested that this kind of mistake not be repeated. For the record, Lorem Ipsum is a mock text from the 16th century used to demonstrate the appearance of a design without using the original content. But of course, when it appears on the national monument, its impact no longer just technical. So, from design error at the heart of the new capital city, to students getting dose of discipline through military-style training this week in Indonesia, was certainly filled with eye-opening and thought-provoking headlines. The Barak Pemuda program may have raised eyebrows, but it also sparked dialogue. How do we mold character in the age of distraction? In Cianjur, West Java, a unique approach to student discipline is making headlines. 30 junior high school students, identified as having behavioral issues such as truancy, involvement in fights, and substance abuse, have been enrolled in a two-week character building program at the Rider 300 Infantry Battalion Military Barracks. This initiative, part of the Barak Remaja, or Youth Barracks program, was launched by Cianjur Regent, Dr. Muhammad Wahyu Ferdian. The program aims to instill discipline, patriotism, and national awareness among the youth. Importantly, participation is voluntary and based on requests from parents who have struggled to manage their children's behavior. During their stays, the students will engage in activities designed to foster discipline and character development. To ensure continuity in their education, teachers from their respective school will conduct formal lessons on site.
Anak-anak yang kemarin mungkin sudah terjaring ya di permasalahan seperti tawuran, ya, mabuk-mabukan, lalu bolos sekolah, melawan orang tua, itu diserahkan oleh orang tuanya kepada kami, dan kita harapkan dengan penguatan karakter ini mereka bisa menjadi anak-anak yang lebih baik. 2 minggu di sini, tapi programnya 6 bulan kita ada pemantauan.
6 bulan pemantauan.
Regent Wahyu emphasized that this program is not punitive but a collaborative effort to guide students back on track. Following the 2 weeks training, the students' progress will be monitored over 6 months. If significant improvements are not observed, they may be recommended for further participation in the program. While some view it as an innovative solution to youth delinquency, others express concerns about the militaristic approach to education. I'm Chandra Adi Pratama.
I'm Putri Chandra Kirana.
And I'm Kalin Junior Yazid.
Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay informed and grounded because the news doesn't sleep. Goodbye.